in case you need a little refresher, here are some things that I do think you know. You're looking at an equilateral triangle. You do, I believe, know that it is equiangular, so every angle is 60 degrees. And you probably remember that if you draw an altitude, drop an altitude, you are going to create two triangles that are congruent by hypotenuse leg. And so by CPCTC, the little pieces at the base are also congruent, and the 60-degree angle is going to be bisected. So we're going to end up with two 30-degree angles. So what we end up with is two separate 30, 60, 90 triangles. And what we can also say is that if we were going to call each side of this equilateral triangle maybe 2x, so this is 2x and this is 2x, and the whole base is 2x, but then it's divided into two pieces. This is going to be x, and that's going to be x. So then we end up with something that kind of looks like this. So what we end up with is what you used to call a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So 30-degree angle, right angle, 60-degree angle. We said this was 2x. We said this is x. If we called this b for the moment and employed a little Pythagorean theorem, we'd have b squared plus x squared is equal to 2x quantity squared. So b squared plus x squared is 4x squared. B squared is 3x squared, and then b is going to be x times root 3, x times root 3. So this side ends up being x root 3. So here's the deal for any 30, 60, 90 triangle. It doesn't matter how it's positioned. You have a 30-degree angle, you have a 60-degree angle, and then you have a right angle. The shorter side is always the side opposite 30 degrees. So if that's 1, then the hypotenuse is going to have length 2, and the longer leg, in other words, the leg opposite the 60 degrees, is going to have length square root of 3. So what you always want to operate from is that shorter leg. So if you know that the shorter leg is, I don't know, let's say 10, then right away you know the hypotenuse is 20, and the longer leg is 10 root 3. If you know that the hypotenuse has length, let's say 16, then right away what we know is that the shorter leg is half of that, has length 8, and then we can say that the longer leg is 8 root 3, and if we know that the longer leg is something, so let's suppose we know the longer leg is, I don't know, 9, well then we know going from the longer leg to the shorter leg, what we're going to do is divide by square root of 3. So 9 divided by the square root of 3, which in fact becomes, when we rationalize 9 root 3 over 3, which is just 3 root 3, so our shorter leg is 3 root 3, so our hypotenuse is 6 root 3. So that's 30, 60, 90.